I know. I realize I haven't posted a video on my YouTube channel in a very long time, but I decided to try on something new this time. Today we're gonna be doing what I'm calling the Inaugural Podcast because I wanted to start doing podcasts on my channel because, let's face it, it's been drier than the damn Sahara. Anyway, today I have with me my friend Raymond. Raymond.
Ooh, shakalaka.
Oh
Shakalaka.
my god.
Ooh.
Great
My name's
start.
actually Bob.
Oh my
My name's
god.
Bob Ramundo.
That is my brother. We just call him Jay. My
So he
girlfriend
gets an
Lindsay.
alias and I just get exposed. That's buck wild.
I didn't give you the full name, Mr. N. Anyway, my girlfriend Lindsay's here, and also my friend Milla, who is somewhere in the... Oh, there he is. The gameplay in the background is just going to be me doing some stuff on Horizon Zero Dawn. I haven't played in a while, so I thought it'd be nice to go back. So, conversation topic for this evening is going to be DC versus Marvel. It can be as a franchise, it can be just comparing different aspects of
Plotline.
different series and things like that, but
it's gonna be a fucking fight.
So we're basically putting a universe of well-written characters versus a universe full of Mary Sues.
Oh!
and it's starting already.
Ooh, I
got
wonder
that.
who exactly are you talking about there, Raymundo?
You know exactly which one I'm talking about.
Okay, so
You don't even have to think that hard.
okay, so I do have to think that hard because how many DC comics do you read?
This is nice music.
Yeah, that's nice background music while you think about that.
Yo, GameStop wilding out, bro.
Raymond.
Alright, on a completely unrelated note, GameStop just tweeted out some info on Madden 19, and a curious customer asked if it was gonna have a Battle Royale mode, and GameStop as a company replied that if it does, we got dibs on Ray Rice.
Woof. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I was gonna be
Alright.
like Ray Rice, woohoo, but I don't even know who that is.
He, let's just say there were some
Wife in an
things
elevator.
involved with an elevator. It wasn't
Yeah.
a good look.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just don't be a woman in an elevator. Like,
crazy.
okay.
Well,
So, I was challenging Raymond. Okay, so for background information, I'm probably going to be the mainstay of Pro DC here.
And Pro
more
ZD,
than
if he were
anything
here,
else.
would be the mainstay for Pro ZD.
Alright, Marvel versus Capcom, Marvel wins.
Well, of course
yeah,
Marvel
like
wins
that's-
because Marvel has way more powerhouses than Capcom has, except for maybe Dante and Virgil. But let's face it, they're only half demons, so
I'm
they
not
can't
talking
carry
about
the whole
I'm
roster.
talking about the game making them win over Injustice.
Well,
oh wow.
What?
But do we
Well,
really wanna
Injustice
talk
is
about
putting-
Marvel versus
We're not talking
Capcom
about
into-
Infinite. We're not
Well,
talking about
Okay,
Infinite.
Okay.
well, I was
Good,
just saying that,
alright. I was
like,
like, you better clarify which one, otherwise she just won this.
well, Injustice also puts DC characters against DC characters. Marvel versus
Yeah,
Capcom
like,
is
that's
Marvel
not-
characters versus
Well,
Capcom
the way
characters.
I thought. All right, so first of all, we have to establish what
Alright,
the
then.
comparison is, like popularity, success, like, or actual story arc and characters.
Like, there's several
dealer's
characters.
choice,
characters.
honestly.
If you
Well, I
want to
feel
be
like
exact,
Raymond was focusing
I'm gonna
on
say
that.
MVC versus MK versus DC.
Okay, MK versus DC, I feel like Mortal Kombat still wins that.
Okay, but that's not what we're
No.
talking about. We're talking about Marvel versus DC, not fighting games.
Well, they are technically considered extended universes of the respective franchises. That's why it's kind of a
We're
weird.
talking about franchise longevity, franchise content, franchise outsourcing.
Like
We're
y'all,
taking all of the arms.
y'all can go into the
Okay.
fighting game stuff, but whenever you want to get into actual comic books, I'll be here to hang out with you guys. So.
Oh, we're done.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, well, there isn't really a whole lot to it. It's just like
Yeah, there aren't really too much.
there's really
too many
two
games.
fighting games
Yeah.
centered
like-
around them.
Yeah.
I can't remember how to
So,
do anything.
If we're talking
Because
about
actually,
like,
now that I think about it, sorry to go back to that topic, but so Marvel vs. Capcom took off, whereas DC versus Mortal Kombat just went nowhere. There was like one game,
Yeah.
and they just never revisited it.
no.
And the closest thing you got to that was like the cameos in the Injustice games.
Yeah, like that's the closest you're gonna get to it. Like, I will say this right now, as the person that's backing up DC, like, okay, DC's strong suits are the animated,
What dismount? Oh, triangle.
like, animated TV shows, animated cinematic universe, and the comic books and characters. I would say, and you can fight me on this, the characters in DC I have always found much stronger than the characters in Marvel.
Now I'm interested because Raymond says the opposite. I'm wondering.
Yeah.
It's literally
what is each-
verbatim the exact opposite.
Yes.
Like what is each of your reasoning for each of your perspectives on this?
I'll let Raymond go first.
You go first.
Okay, never mind.
The rule is definitely ladies
I'll go
first,
in.
but you know.
Oh, alright, ladies first.
Okay, speaking of ladies first, that's why DC is a lot better than Marvel. Okay, so I'm looking at my comic books right now, standing here at my big old wall of comic books, and DC has a comic book series called Birds of Prey.
I am
One of
There's
One
also
of my
the sirens.
Well, Gotham City Sirens is a whole other thing, but Birds of Prey is one of my favorite just superhero series. So this is like basically a girl group of female characters, and Marvel tried to do something similar that was called Marvel Divas. Let me look at this.
Oh no, let's not talk about modern comic runs because we already know that Marvel versus DC wins in terms of modern comic runs.
So
Because Marvel decided to go all fake SJW on people, and there's
No.
a lot of Marvel fans who really don't like that.
no, Marvel didn't actually like, because Marvel did go fake SJW, but DC has had
For
gay
those who
characters.
don't know, explain SJW.
Well, SJW stands for Social Justice Warrior. I don't know if it's a
Okay.
derogatory term, but it's just an internet term.
It
I
kind of.
mean, it may or may not be because it's like those people who
Who use cis as an insult?
well, I was gonna provide a situation that's more accurate to our lives, like the people where there are certain people where if something's going on with someone who happens to be a minority, they feel it's their right to stand up for them even though no one asked.
Where they can
They're
be-
usually white.
Yeah.
Usually.
white women. However,
Usually gay white women.
usually, I would
Which
say.
is actually, I never realized that. Like, I was just thinking about it, and I was just like, oh yeah, usually lesbian.
Well, it's like it's the sort of like Tumblr-y stuff more
Yeah.
than social justice warrior.
Okay, but
But-
continue.
No, but if you're talking about like modern comics and you already say DC won,
Yeah, because Marvel hasn't been putting out good character arcs as of late, because they've basically just been trying to grasp at and rehash previously set characters and applying it to different franchises, and it doesn't work out.
I've
Even though a lot of people could argue that the modern character arcs are no different than the older character arcs. The example that comes to mind is Ironheart versus Miles Morales. They're basically exactly the same character, but people have beef with Riri Williams because of various reasons. Think she's not as good as a character as Miles.
I mean, I would say,
but that could also be biased because Miles has been around longer.
Yeah, when you talk about recent, I also mentioned that the fact that this Marvel Divas that I was about to go off on, that came out 2010. That's 8 years ago.
Yeah.
But they're trying to catch up to Birds of Prey, which started coming out in the 90s. Birds of Prey started coming out way before Gotham City Sirens as well. So, Birds of Prey main characters would be Batgirl or Oracle, Black Canary, my favorite character, Huntress. Sometimes they have Dove in there, but it's on and off. And Gotham City Sirens was the character arc where it was Harley Quinn, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy trying to be good guys-esque for once. And it was the character arc about Harley Quinn breaking up with the Joker and realizing he was an abusive piece of shit. So, for one thing, I would say that maybe I would agree with you where Marvel has tried to go a little too hard SJW on some things, and that I think it's less about trying to respond to the times, rather it is trying to catch up with DC, because DC has always been strong with having people of color and women take stronger stands than Marvel ever did. Until recent times.
Raymond, your case. Unless you had nothing else to add. I might have heard him say he'd be right back, but I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But at any rate,
Yeah. Does anybody have a Does anybody have a defense of Marvel for my my sauce?
I still think that in certain respects, Marvel does have relatively fair representation when it comes to expressing certain minorities in I'm gonna say in an acceptable and what's the word I'm looking for? Respectable way. Like certain characters, such as like the way they designed Black Panther and Killmonger, where it's they're characters based in a country where normally you wouldn't, like, especially during the time period, you wouldn't hear a lot about or think about creating these kind of characters that are like basically superhumans.
Okay,
and a lot of
talking about just to get structure here. Are we talking about purely comics, or are we talking about animated, or like the?
Well, I'm talking about strictly comics, because the comics were because at the same, like, regardless if you're talking about extended universe, cinematic universe, or just like the universe as a whole, it's still like focusing still on Black Panther, for instance. Black Panther is still very much an African man, a black man, who is in power and has, like, superhuman abilities. So, a character like that, or a character like Luke Cage, who is literally a bulletproof black man, especially more recently with everything going on, kids seeing things like that, black kids or other minorities seeing things like that, it kind of gives like a sense of hope because looking at it from a broad spectrum, both franchises are very much so, like, there's a very dominant shade with those characters, and it's not exactly a dark one. If you know what I'm saying. Like, yeah, no one, it's like, there are predominantly a lot of white superheroes and superheroines. Like, it's just because, like, that's the first thing people think of.
Yes.
And then having a character as detailed and as, I'm having trouble finding the word right now, as, structured as T'Challa as Black Panther, and the way his family was, and his father, it's just kind of the relationship he had with his father and with his family. It's a very, to some people, I'm gonna say, it's a relatable. Luke Cage is a little bit more of a relatable character than maybe T'Challa is, because Luke Cage is like, he grew up in the city. He's more of like a it's like an everyday guy before he got his abilities and everything. Like, he was just more, yeah. But they're still very positive black or minority role models. I'm not going to keep saying focusing on black, because I'm sure there are other, like, there are other suitable role models for all minorities, I'm sure. But
yeah, okay.
My knowledge is still relatively limited in both franchises, because I spend a lot of time going back and forth between them.
Yeah. So my knowledge is, like, just a disclaimer here, my knowledge is almost entirely DC Comics related. So I don't know a ton about Black Panther. I have done a lot of research on Luke Cage, however. So, just for my background knowledge on Black Panther, I know that Black Panther has been around for a while, and I would say that the original Black Panther was almost entirely blaxploitation.
Yeah, but you could also argue Luke Cage was too at one point.
No, he was not, because I can argue the opposite of that. Because Black Panther, I would say, was entirely blaxploitation. I would say that Black Panther was used, and Killmonger, it's the same way that, you know, like Black Panther and Killmonger, the masks they wore these very, you know, varied African-style masks and attitudes. It was very much, Black Panther first appeared in the 50s, and I don't think he was a black man at first. I think it was a white dude that was given ancient African powers, if I'm right.
No, Black Panther was always black. They eventually inducted other white people into the cast.
Okay.
Like his adopted white brother, the White Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, who looked like white Batman. Okay. I didn't know if it was the same thing as, like, El Diablo in the DC comics, where El Diablo was like
originally
a
white cowboy. Yeah.
Yeah. But I know where Luke Cage came from. Because Luke
Cage
Luke Cage was blaxploitation, but in Uh, I don't know if I consider him blaxploitation because of the people that made him and the reason he was made. Which I'm a white person, so like, you know, stop me when I'm wrong. But
his style was what I was referring to. You know, the flared up disco outfit.
oh yeah,
That's like
no,
Black Dynamite, straight up.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that is.
Black Dynamite
That's
is another
definitely-
topic I kind of want to go
Well,
into
actually,
at
yeah.
some point too,
Well,
because
that's specifically a parody
Well, that's
of that whole era. So it's
yeah.
like-
No, that is blaxploitation. However, Luke Cage, the character, was created right after Martin Luther King Jr. was shot. They created the character of a black man with bulletproof skins right after Martin Luther King Jr. was shot. And I think the reason Luke Cage became a popular Netflix series, look at how he's portrayed now. In like that first season, he was a black man in a hoodie. I would say Luke Cage is a very positive, good character to have back in the Marvel universe. However, I would say that Marvel has, until modern day, not used their characters of color. Like, they've been holding them back and not using them in a good light up until now. I would say the DC also bought oh god, what was it, Maverick? God, no, what were the comics? Oh, Milestone. DC bought Milestone in the 90s. And Milestone was the first entirely black power comic book company. And DC bought them out and they did good things with them because that's where you get Static Shock. And Icon and Rocket, like, I think DC has always been a little bit better about. I think DC personally, like, you can argue with me about this. I think DC has been better about representation of women, of homosexuality, of people of color, and I think they've always done it in a very eased-in way. Whereas Marvel has always had to make a show out of it to catch up.
What the hell?
Is anybody gonna? Am I the only one that's gonna speak on this podcast? Do I get to win? Come on, what's going on?
Well, I'm just listening because I don't really know enough about it.
All I know about Marvel is Deadpool's great.
I feel like that's something that we can all agree on.
that kind of
Argument over.
that kind of
And
is
the
the
three
one.
main
That kind of is the
heroes of,
one up.
DC.
Yeah, I was gonna say that kind of is the one up over DC. There really isn't a Deadpool character in the DC universe, or a character
Well,
like
there's
Deadpool.
Batmite and
Well,
Mad Jim Jaspers.
well, yeah, but
Well, there's Deathstroke that Deadpool was based on.
Yeah, but he's a
Deathstroke.
serious character.
Yeah, Deathstroke
Yeah,
is nothing
exactly.
like the way
Yeah.
Wade Wilson was structured.
I know, but
It just
Slade.
feels like it, to be honest.
Word to
To
my
me.
boy Slade.
Slade was technically the inspiration. So,
For the death pool.
yep.
Death.
But that's because a lot of people jumped shit from DC and went to write for Marvel.
Yeah.
Well, back in the old days of comics, like, Stan Lee drew a lot of DC comics back in the day. Like, everybody hopped on and off.
Yeah, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
Like, that was a whole other thing. I mean, that's just the fact that DC technically is an older series. Like, cause I have a bunch of the old comics from my dad from like the 60s and 50s.
Alright, let's talk about the real comic book winner.
Okay.
Image Comics.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I mean, Image is very good.
Dark Horse is also pretty good.
Yeah.
I kinda like the way the Amalgam universe was done, actually.
Oh, Amalgam?
Yeah.
DC and Marvel.
Mm-hmm. It was like the way certain characters are structured, like Dark Claw.
Were they their own publishing company?
I think. I'm not
If we're gonna
100%
talk about
sure.
real production company, my favorite has to be Valiant because they just create great stories.
Valiant does a lot of good stuff, but I think, no, it wasn't Valiant, it was Vertigo.
Count
Oh, did they go out
Vertigo.
of, business?
Vertigo got bought by DC, so technically now V for Vendetta, Watchmen, all of those belong to the DC.
When did they buy them? Recently?
It was a while ago.
Yeah, I remember
No,
knowing
they just
about
haven't been
this.
doing anything with the IPs.
Yeah, mostly because there's nothing that they really can do with, like, they don't want to mess with V for Vendetta or Watchmen. You don't want to mess with those, because those are very good just stories. Like, you're not going to bring the Watchmen, and you're not going to bring V into a different...
Seems like they're already messing with it.
Well,
with
they're not
DC
going to
Rebirth.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to bring
Doomsday
them...
Clock.
They're not going to bring them into the, like, DC character universe. The only time they've ever brought characters was when they bought, characters like Static Shock and Icon. They brought them into the DC universe. Yep. But no, Raymond, do you wanna fight me about representation? What you gonna fight me about?
Icon, that's all I'm saying.
Icon is DC.
I know.
That's perfect.
Most underused character ever.
Young Justice.
Yeah, but at the same time,
Still underused.
yeah.
Like, where was Icon before Young Justice? And he doesn't even get much screen time.
No, he doesn't, but, that, like, they took the comics into the, like, DC pantheon. So, they also don't want to fuck with him too much, you know? Like, you don't want to mess with the Icon story. Like, DC is very good about, like, they don't want to mess with a good story.
I mean, like, there's a difference between messing and, you know, reinvigorating.
True.
Because the
Well, I
story's
think-
not just gonna go away because somebody has a new take on Icon.
Yeah, well, I think that's what they were trying to do. Because they took Young Justice, and Young Justice was trying to recreate and reinvigorate a lot of different characters, and I think that was their way of testing it out.
R.I.P. Static.
Static Shock was in Young Justice Season 2.
Barely.
Barely, yes.
He was,
But
and it seems that they took him out of Outsiders, which sucks. 'Cause
Outsiders
he was on all the
was
promo art before. And
Outsiders
then now,
was Marvel.
no, Young Justice Outsiders.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they did with him in
That's
Outsiders.
the third season's name.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 Outsiders. Yeah, Marvel and DC.
On a completely unrelated note, Jay, we might have to make plans for October 9th.
What do you say?
Because Ninja Sex Party is coming to the Fillmore in Silver Spring.
I was actually
That's
thinking
down
about
the
doing-
street from the movie theater.
What I was trying to say was I was thinking about doing one of their shows in Jersey because I was thinking about trying to go with Christy. I don't remember when the shows are. I think it might be earlier. But I feel like if there's gonna be a concert that I'm ever gonna go to, it would probably be an Ninja Sex Party concert.
Yeah.
They're just like, it's like when I think about a lot of the groups I like, I feel like they'd be a little too druggy. If I'm being honest. And I'm like, I don't really want to be around drugs.
Yeah, a Korn concert would be kind of crazy to go to now that I think about it.
It's like a lot of the groups that I like, I'm pretty certain if I go to a Run the Jewels concert, as great as that would be,
Oh no, there's no drugs there.
are you
Run the
sure
Jewels is
about
very
that?
commercial.
Well, I mean,
Not that
now,
you know, and I mean, like, honestly, when it comes to concerts, you don't have to worry. I don't know what you consider drugs. If you're talking about weed, weed's everywhere.
yeah, I personally hate the smell.
Understandable.
Don't live here.
But like, nobody
I mean,
really
Not-
does
that's
drugs
not
at
me,
concerts,
that's
and
just the
especially
people
not
across the
RTJ.
hall.
Because RTJ gets booked at places like, Studio 13 or Webster Hall. Like Webster Hall is not gonna have people doing drugs in their venue. Trying to
I
maintain
hope
that
not.
license.
What do they want me to do here exactly?
Why not? Risk it all.
Risk it for the biscuit.
No, I mixed it.
Mind if we shift topics here because
We can.
a whole
Yeah.
podcast doesn't have to be one topic.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, it was a.
Oh, I'm sorry if I'm not all the way in here. I'm
won already,
focusing on
so it's
saving the
fine.
world from the alien menace. And I've been
It's
getting
fine.
phone
I
calls
won.
back and forth the whole
I
time.
just, yeah, sure, Raymond, whatever. I won. It's fine.
You know what, Liz? Shoot.
DC wins.
I think.
Lindsay wins.
I think Danny wins
Uh,
because Danny always wins.
no, hashtag Lindsay wins.
Okay.
Barry.
No,
put it up.
Barry, don't put it up.
Okay.
We don't have a berry.
We don't have a Barry
We don't
yet.
have
I'm
a
sorry.
Okay.
For
so,
those of you who do end up watching this, lots of
Just
Game Grump
don't
references going
explain.
around.
Don't explain. Just don't. I'm pretty sure anyone who is watching this will know what we're talking about. And if they don't,
If you know, you know.
And if you don't know,
Only people
now
who are gonna
you
be watching
know.
this is us.
okay.
yeah. So like, they'll
So
have
what's
no
our-
peace.
What's our second topic?
Anal sex. Thumbs up or thumbs down. It's a quick topic. Quick shout.
Thumbs down, man.
Down, down.
I'm trying to
down.
get shit on my dick, so
Understandable.
I'm gonna say down because of
So
that
thumbs up.
specific fact.
That's a down right there. Okay.
That's
Does
gonna be a
anybody
no
have
from me, Chief.
Jay, do you have a better topic than?
I actually do have
whatever-
a better topic.
Oh,
Your name is not Jay, but okay.
Well, I mean, it was just my podcast. I wanted to try and throw a topic.
Yeah. Oh!
okay, Carlito, go for it.
I think Yajirobe should have been in the Tournament of Power. I'm gonna keep saying it.
Oh,
I'm going to
my
keep saying
God.
it because I swear, 17 basically did what Yajirobe could have done, but he didn't do it on purpose. Jiren knocked him
Except
out of
Yajirobe
the
has a
way,
dream.
and he fell, and he happened to fall on a bit that was out of like Jiren's sight line.
No. No. 17 is Bay, and Yajirobe is anti-Bay.
Say it. Say it. Say
Anybody
it.
else been watching My Hero Academia?
Fat
I
shit.
haven't
Yeah.
watched any of it, and I've never seen it, so I don't want spoilers.
Alright, cover your ears. I'm about to say something about Lindsay. Lindsay, are you caught up?
Yeah.
I don't
baby.
know any names, so like it will be irrelevant.
Oh, actually, Carlos, it wouldn't even make any difference because I'm not gonna discuss any specifics.
Oh.
I was just gonna be like, Lindsay. All for one.
I don't know. All Might is Bay, so but okay. So my problem is, like, All Might is my husbando, but not like the pumped up All Might.
Oh, Little All
Like-
Might?
Yeah, like All Might when he has no power and he just looks like a grumpy, like demonic piece of shit. Like that's my husbando right there.
I really want, oh. You wanna know what's one of the greatest things in the manga
What?
in terms of tie-ins? That
What?
it was in one of the data books, like off the record. But remember that winged Nomu that snatched up Midoriya before
Yeah.
Stain cut it down?
Mhm.
Remember the kid who was hanging around with Bakugo when they were kids with wings?
Mhm.
Yeah, he got turned into that.
Wow.
Yep. And Horikoshi says that in the future he's gonna talk about the Nomus and the process.
Sorry.
And I'm like, dang, doesn't look good.
Well, I think that should be the next. That should be the next topic. If we talk anime, actually,
Sure.
I'm gonna. All right, I'm gonna bring it up because I kind of have to at this point because I know there are a lot of supporters for one specific side. So I'm gonna ask. We're gonna do with Raymond's extended knowledge of the Dragon Ball franchise and Lindsay's mostly extending knowledge of the DC universe. I think it's time we finally decide. We need to find. We need to talk it. We need to talk it through in an incredibly analytical way, because
We can't really do all of that because we're talking about a consistent character through one storyline versus somebody.
exactly that's the
Superman isn't
kind
a
of.
character; he's a symbol. He's an
Yeah.
idea. Superman could be whatever the hell you want.
But
Superman
as
could be
Doomsday as Doomsday showed, an idea can easily be like destroyed.
Okay.
that's
I
like
mean,
one
okay, it
version of
wasn't
Superman.
easy, but you
Superman
know what I'm
Prime
saying.
1 million would look at Doomsday and he'd be gone.
Okay, that's what I'm
like-
saying. Like, if we take both characters at what would be considered the peak,
Absolutely.
not
Superman wins
performance,
because
but
Superman Prime 1 million's a horribly short-changed character who's just a god.
okay,
He's Superman
so
with
Superman,
millions of years of experience.
like
power
Superman,
of
this is true.
like
Sorry
you've
to cut
got to
you off.
go back, like to appreciate Superman at all, because the thing is, Superman, looking at now, the amount of superheroes we have, the amount of good stories, the amount of like wonderful.
Oh, hi,
things about
welcome to the
superheroes.
stream. Sorry, we're just in the middle of a podcast right now. The topic is Superman versus Goku. We're trying to, put a more defined.
It was butt sex earlier.
Yeah.
Okay,
it was butt
well,
sex earlier, but
We're not gonna go
we,
back to
we
that.
went into superheroes. But no. Okay. So to appreciate Superman fully, you have to look. Okay, so for anybody that doesn't know, because this is a new podcast, you're gonna get a lot of bullshit from me. I'm white girl Lindsay, and I was a history major. I graduated from college with a history major, and a lot of what I love about comic books is I've read a lot of the history of comics. So I appreciate Superman personally because he's one of the first superheroes. And I read about what created him. So you've got to imagine, Superman was created by two Jewish kids. They were always looked down upon. They were left out of things. They had a really tough time, and they created this character, Superman, who was Moses. Superman comes from another planet. He's sent off. He's Moses in a basket that lands on Earth. And Goku got the same treatment years later, because it became a trope of we send our kid to another planet and he becomes a hero there.
If we're really thinking about it, though, I don't think Bardock necessarily planned on Goku becoming a hero. I think he wanted.
He just. No. I'm not saying that it was meant for him. You know, like it was not. Goku was not meant to be sent as a superhero in a basket.
Yeah.
You know, like he was not supposed to be a superhero that landed on Earth. And
what happened.
It's what happened because it became a trope. Because Superman came out a lot earlier than Dragon Ball, you know? And Dragon Ball Z was basically a retcon of Dragon Ball, explaining where Goku came from. Because Dragon Ball was just the
Journey of the West.
Yeah, it's just Dragon Ball's just the Journey to the West story. Like there was no like, okay, he like this boy comes and he's got a monkey tail. He's the Monkey King. Like that Dragon Ball originally was just Journey to the West. However, Dragon Ball Z retconned it so that it became more of a superhero story.
Yeah,
and
the
so
story
he
of the
was sent
Saiyans.
from another planet. But Superman, Superman's way overpowered.
But also, in a way, I think in a way fighting Goku would be like fighting... It would still kind of be reminiscent of fighting Doomsday. Not in the fact that Goku can't die. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not in that aspect. I'm talking about the way S cells work.
Yeah, but S cell.
Because Goku's gonna keep continually getting stronger throughout the course of the fight.
Goku has to live for him to continually get strong.
Well, yeah.
No, but
if the most powerful version of Superman hits Goku, it's over and done with.
Well,
almost.
The thing is, if you imagine both Superman and Goku, like imagine their personalities. Neither of them. They would fight, but they would never kill each other.
Yeah, I was gonna say they definitely fight though, Raymond, because Goku's an idiot, and as soon as he finds out how powerful Superman is, he's gonna want to fight.
Well, which Superman are we talking about?
That's the hardest part to define. Like, the hardest thing to define is which version of Superman, because we can easily say Goku at his peak is probably Ultra Instinct. Like, if he could sustain, fully realize Ultra Instinct, and not have the negative after effect, Goku would be basically unbeatable.
Okay, like, let's
talk about... Except for, like, Superman Prime.
Like, let's talk about regular happy-go-lucky Goku and regular happy-go-lucky Superman.
There's nothing happy-go-lucky about Superman.
Yes, he is.
We talking about Somber Clark?
Oh my god.
No, not... Like, if we go to the base of who their characters are.
Oh, cheesy, fight for justice, truth, and the American way Superman?
Yeah. Like, they're just gonna want to fight each other someplace that they won't hurt people, and they'll have a really nice time, but they won't want to kill each other, and they'll be like, haha, that was really fun.
Well, if
Okay,
that's
yeah,
the case, then Superman's losing.
yeah, because
Yeah.
like even
Like,
Beerus
if
said it
it's
to
not a-
Zamasu. If he doesn't take the fight with Goku seriously, he's gonna kill him.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. If it's not a life or death battle, it's gonna be very different than if it were a life or death battle. But I can't see, like, for any reason, Goku and Superman getting into a life or death battle just because of the way.
Well, if it
Well, I
was
mean,
Injustice Superman, if it was Injustice Superman, Goku could definitely see Superman as a threat because
Yeah, but
Superman
Goku
was a
would've taken
threat
him
to
out.
everyone.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the weaker Supermen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very weak. But
Well, I think the main reason he's so weak in the Injustice universe is because he's still. I think it's a psychological thing. It's not a physical thing, but having killed
No, he's
Lois
physically
himself,
weaker.
psychologically he's broken too. Because it's the way Kratos was after he killed his family. And after a certain respect, how Hercules was after he killed his family. Because, let's face it, the original story of Kratos is basically Hercules.
you mean Hunky?
Oh my god.
You mean
What?
But no,
Oh.
it's like the thing is, I actually really like Superman just as like the story of how he was created, the old action comics, like what came about because of Superman. Like, I think that's very important to comic book history, and I still think that, like, as much as people hate, like, the DC cinematic universe, like, people really shit on the DC movies, I know, and I understand why. I fully do, but I still love them just because I'm a huge DC fan. So, when I saw, the DC Justice League movie, and when Superman came back and went back and was fighting Steppenwolf, and he was in his new brighter outfit, and he's like, I stand for justice, and he's in there to help. I was like, okay, this is the Superman I wanted. Like, Man of Steel, I was
Well,
still okay
actually,
with that movie.
I think it was the same exact outfit, just they changed the lighting and the suit looked
Yes.
brighter during that
Yeah,
scene.
they changed it to look brighter because look, I think I did enjoy Man of Steel because
They tried too hard to make it a Dark Knight.
Yeah, they really
They
did.
It doesn't
They
work for
did.
Superman. The thing
It
that
can't
makes
work
Dark
for
Knight
Superman.
interesting is Batman's vulnerability.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is, there is something to be said. There is something to be said, and like I know people will not agree with me on this, but there's something to be said about Superman, and there is a dark side to his past because he's just becoming a superhero. He doesn't know how to use his strength. He doesn't know how to be a hero.
Yeah,
He was
but
supposed to hide who he was his whole life, and he's always been an outsider. That's
only
reason
problem-
he was created. He was created as Moses in a basket. Moses is supposed to save everyone. However, he was raised in the conditions that he realized after a while that he's not human. He always wanted to just be human, and he is not. He's an illegal alien.
well, the only
He's
real
such-
problem
he's-
I had with Man of Steel was in fact the fact that he killed Zod at the end of the movie.
That made sense to me.
To me, it didn't, because Superman
No,
as a
I'm-
character, there were so many other ways he could have handled that situation, but he decided to kill Zod.
Well,
The
there's no
thing
negative
is-
zone yet in that movie. nothing really like that. That's how he usually deals with Zod in the comics. But Zod's one of those villains in Superman lore that's just irreconcilable.
I'm saying, like, if you look at it from... Okay, think about it in a more practical standpoint. If you see him slowly moving his head towards those people with his heat vision, fly straight up. It's not like as fast as Superman flies, it's not like Zod's gonna be able to direct his head fast enough to hit those people.
Yeah, and he did have a hold.
He did have a really good hold on Zod, so he could have flown straight up and could have avoided having to kill him.
Let's not talk about Man of Steel at all, because if we're gonna talk about semantics and movies, there's no way that Superman should win against that Zod.
No.
There's no way that Superman should win against Goku. If we're really breaking it down.
One of the weaker Supermen. If we're gonna talk about, like, when we talk about the most powerful Superman, it's either Clark with a lot of experience, or something that's not even Superman, i.e. cosmic armor.
Or,
yeah, but, like,
well, technically God of Strength
understood
Superman
like,
isn't really Superman either.
Okay, I have to go to that movie. I have to go to Man of Steel just because there is no reason that Superman should win against Zod. And that's purely because if you imagine in that moment how much destruction Superman himself just caused because he's a new superhero.
The same thing could actually be said about the Dark Knight trilogy, though.
Yeah, but
that's like Gotham's Gotham's
Detroit
siege for a lot of those movies.
Yeah, I was like, Gotham's Detroit in real life. It's kind of
like Batman never claimed to be some kind of paragon. Hold on, I'll be right back. Doors being rang.
Okay, but it's like I understand what Raymond's saying. Like Gotham was always kind of a shit show.
But it was the fact that like
wasn't. But like imagine. This is a new Superman. He sees like how much destruction he's caused, how much destruction Zod's caused. And this is Superman's, like in the movie, it is supposed to be bad. It is Superman's darkest moment. He doesn't know what else to do besides kill someone. That's the point of the whole movie, is that he kills Zod. Did he have to? Maybe not, probably not. But did he? Yes. And that's the scary thing. Because that's the first person he's ever killed. And he realizes, I don't ever want to do that again. Like, that's supposed to be, that's a point of the movie that I think a lot of people missed. Was the fact that killing Zod was not the good idea. Like, that wasn't supposed to be Superman's heroic moment. Everyone was supposed to feel that that was not good. That was not what Superman would do. But he's new. He doesn't get it yet. And so he did something terrible. And he feels bad about it. So that's not supposed to be a good time.
It's not a good time for anyone, but at the same time I just feel like, you know, it's
Hello.
Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh my god.
Also watch language. I'm just gonna say that now.
Don't watch language.
Watch language. Cogs. I don't know what you mean by watch language.
I'm gonna, Chrissy, I'm just gonna send you a word that you can't say.
Send her a list of words. No, send her a list of words she can't say. I'm trying to get money. Let's face it, I'm not.
I'm trying to money all the content that you're just spitting
Carlos, you can't get any money.
Hey. If I was already getting monetized, this video's over 10 minutes, so I would still make that sweet $6.
Sweet fagoo.
That's sweet. Oh
yeah.
That sweet, precious loot. More console, please don't sue me. I love your videos. Anyway.
Whatever, you sweet bagoo.
Whoa. Sweet babu.
Bagoo ragu.
You sweet N-word, Jim.
Oh my god. What? Okay,
Yes.
you know what? In all honesty,
Nigerian
let's
Jim.
talk about Mark Twain. Why on God's green earth, regardless of time period, would you name a character that?
Because that was the thing, Carlos.
No, okay.
Colloquialism.
Okay,
It's
first of all, no, because given the time period that the book took place in, they would not have called him Jim. They would have just stopped after the first word.
No,
If we're
Carlos,
really
Carlos.
focusing on the time
Specify.
period.
It's like if you
Carlos.
have an uncle and both uncles are there, you're not going to call both of them uncle, you're going to call one Uncle Tom.
Oh my god.
Jim.
I
No,
just prefer.
Carlos.
I just prefer as a name. I don't just call him uncle. I just say, "Hey, what's up, Bob? Hey, what's up, George?"
That's really
George.
crazy because Lindsay has an
Bob?
uncle named Bob. That's weird.
Bobo.
Bob Dole.
No, Carlos.
That's crazy, no, I didn't know you were related to Bob Dole, but...
Bob.
Carlos.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Let the viewers
He
know that I'm
always
not-
did colloquialisms. Like, most of his writing was written in, like, colloquial speech. It was like Faulkner. Where,
That's why it was easy to grasp.
Hello,
Yeah.
people, I have returned.
Hello.
Oh, we're talking about Mark Twain now, Raymond.
What are we? What is the topic of conversation
Christy's
right
here,
now?
by the way.
Hey, Christy.
Oh, we were talking about words we can't say, and then, you know, a specific word came up that's used to describe a character in a Mark Twain book. A certain Mark Twain book.
You mean all Mark Twain books?
True. Science rules.
Intriguing.
Want to talk about how Bill Nye ruined his career?
Indeed.
What, the gender thing?
Yeah.
Wait, what did Bill Nye say about gender?
Raymond, I'll leave
On
it
his
to
new
you.
show on Netflix, you know, they had an episode on gender studies and stuff like that, and basically Bill Nye pulled the whole 72 gender thing.
One for
No,
each
it's
virgin
kinda
in
not-
heaven.
How many
It's honestly
genders?
not based. Well, if I give you a number, the SJWs are gonna be breathing down my throat. So let's just say infinite.
I guess
genders.
nobody heard what I said when Raven said that.
Yeah,
At
I
this
heard.
point,
I just wasn't
with these
commenting.
things, a lot of these are just preferences, and people are marking them as genders.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not.
Well, I would say, like, okay, look, like,
Like
I'm
all
probably closer than anyone in this conversation to the SJW Tumblrista King. I'll say that right now. Like, I will fight y'all
There's
about
a camp?
feminism.
I
Yeah.
feel like we should instead talk about neckbeards.
we're not talking about neckbeards because neckbeards lead to nice guys and nice guys lead to incels. We're not going down that path.
Chrissy and I one night
Well,
were
let's not talk
talking
about
That's what I'm saying. Let's not
talking
go
about-
past that.
we're talking about Chads.
Oh, Chad.
Me and
You're right.
apparently Raymond and I are Tyrones
somebody used
according to the incel community.
Somebody
listen
used
here.
the description Chad lesbian, and that's how we
What?
got into that topic.
What? Okay, what would a Chad lesbian even be?
In
Chad,
incel
but a
logic,
lesbian.
in incel logic, a Chad is just whoever's getting ass.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's not you.
So I guess
Yeah.
we're all Chads here.
Yeah, you're a Chad,
Right,
even
Phil?
though.
Up top.
What's up, Chad?
No, you're black. You're a Tyrone.
Actually,
racist, you know?
let's talk about celebrities
it is
meeting
because-
tween.
No, that's really
No,
what
I
it's
shit you
called.
not. Okay. Wait. Time out.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Now remember,
I'll wait till
incels,
Lindsay finishes.
incels are very racist as well. Incels are basically all white guys.
Oh god.
So, they hate black people.
Rick Miller.
What?
Oh no.
Incel as a term.
That I do?
No,
Oh.
incel as a term means involuntary celibate, Milla.
Yeah. Involuntary
So
celibate,
basically,
but most-
they can't have sex with people not by choice,
Not of their own fault.
not of their own fault.
It's everybody
Yeah,
else's fault.
it's everyone else's fault
it's-
but theirs.
You know, they're the leader, Milla. They're the
They're the
type of
leader
guys-
in Destiny raids.
they're
That's
the
who
type
they
of
are.
people who go into a situation.
If they
they're
die,
like-
it's
they're like,
not their
"Why
fault.
didn't you
It's
help me? Why
everything
didn't you help
else.
me?" Nobody's doing their job.
If they run into a room and Leroy Jenkins a situation and they die, it's not their fault. It's like, you guys should have backed me up. It's like, we were trying to come up with a plan. That's not our fault.
Basically,
Yeah,
if
but
you're
no,
an
it's
incel,
like-
They're
if you're
Okay.
an incel and you're at a bar and you told that girl that you wanted to eat the doo-doo out of her booty hole and she said no,
Oh.
then,
it's the
she's
dude
a
from
lesbian.
across the bar's fault for having a girlfriend.
yeah. However,
What?
it's also the girl's fart, the girl's fault, not the girl's fart.
It's the girl's fart.
It's
Fuck babies.
possibly
Yeah.
it's possibly a fart, but it's the girl's fault because any woman that won't sleep with them is definitely a whore.
Yeah, that that logic
That
doesn't
really
exactly make sense at all. Which is the whole
we were
point of
learning about how
incels. I
they
think.
rate women too. Remember,
Yes.
we learned about Stacy's and Becky's.
Oh, especially underage girls. They love underage girls. However, like let me just
Lolly
time out
much?
here because no, the thing is incels are pretty much exclusively white men.
Mm-hmm.
So
Noah's like, oh.
Milla was about to get into it.
Oh no.
But, it's pretty much exclusively white men, so they hate black people a lot because they think black dudes can fuck whoever they want as well, and so they call them Tyrones instead of
Even though
Chadwicks.
I feel like black people should be called Chadwicks after Chadwick Boseman, but okay.
No,
So we
shut up, Tyrone.
Okay.
Shut up.
Actually,
So,
I think the
yeah.
funniest part is, speaking of Chadwicks, I think the funniest thing is celebrities reading mean tweets, and Chadwick Boseman read one that said, "How did one of the coolest black dudes around get a white bread ass name like Chadwick?" And I'm just like, oh my god.
Shut up, Tyrone.
Okay, listen here, Becky with the good hair.
So
You need
if
to
I'm
chill.
So I'm not a Chad, right? Or is...
No, you're a
So am I
Chad.
a
You're
Chad?
definitely a Chad. Noah.
I'm
If
a
you're
Chad?
if you're
You
a
a
white
virgin?
guy that gets ass, you're a Chad.
No, I'm not. My
Noah,
brother's
why,
a Chad.
Noah, why are you lying?
Welcome to the Chad Valleys.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. No. Oh
Chad Valley.
What do I call my vagina? Chad
Please
Valley.
stop. It's more like Tyrone Chasm at this point.
no. Oh my god.
Hey, I gotta go for a second.
You know Chad Mahal. Chad Mahal. Oh my
Just
god.
veer out of the distance with a whoop.
Okay, Raymond, explain this to me. I was scrolling down my feed and I saw a video for chicken fried cauliflower. What is the point?
Listen here,
Trying
bro.
to be
You're
healthy.
frying it like
Vegetarians-
chicken. What is the point?
Vegetarians have latched on to cauliflower as a super miracle food because cauliflower can actually absorb seasoning and marinade.
That's
Okay.
pretty good.
And it is good. So
I mean, it's pretty good, right? I'm not gonna knock it, but like, you know, stop trying. Chicken fried cauliflower, buffalo cauliflower. Just eat the cauliflower.
Buffalo
Eat it by
cauliflower, mashed garlic cauliflower. Just eat some potatoes.
Put
Jesus
some
Christ.
salt on it. Put some salt on it.
Well,
itself.
sometimes
There are vegans out there who just
put
eat a whole
some
meal
lemon
of cauliflower.
pepper on it.
put some stank on it. You know, put everything on it.
They'll have chicken fried cauliflower with a slide of mashed cauliflower with cauliflower gravy and a
And
cauliflower
cauliflower corn.
puree on the side.
Why you fucking hating on
Cauliflower
cauliflower?
bun.
We're not hating on
I'm not hating
cauliflower.
on
I saw
cauliflower, my guy.
Yeah, I saw a video that was chicken fried cauliflower, and I said, what was the point?
Are we gonna talk about albino broccoli?
That's what cauliflower is. It's albino broccoli.
What?
Think about it. It's basically albino broccoli. That's all it is.
I go up to someone and say, I love albino broccoli. And they're like, what? Yeah, cauliflower. You know that?
I thought you were just gonna say I love albinos. I'm like, I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with saying you love albinos, but it's just a weird statement to make out loud. Whoa. I'm gonna keep calling you Becky with the good hair if you don't stop.
Oh my god, no.
Becky with the good
Oh my god.
My hair is great. You can.
I'm lemonading.
Oh.
Get out of here.
No, that was actually a Kimmy Schmidt reference.
Hold up, you don't love you like I
Can I
love
be
you.
excluded from the Chads?
Can I be excluded?
Do you want to be an incel? I don't think you want to be an
I don't want
incel.
to be
too late.
anything. I just want to be myself.
Miller just doesn't want to label.
In their culture,
I just want to be myself.
you've already been laid, so you are a Chad.
Oh, fucking
You are-
goddamn it.
Yeah, it's like
You're
once
so
you get
sad right
AIDS,
now.
you have AIDS for the rest of your life. Like it doesn't
What?
just go
I have
away.
AIDS?
I didn't. I didn't say you did. What?
No one said you had.
Oh my god! No one
When
said
did
you
you know I
had
had
AIDS.
AIDS?
Who said I
Who
had
told you I had AIDS? It wasn't me.
Just like it's super defensive about it.
Wow, rapid firing does not do nearly as much damage.
So
Holy crap!
we've already offended the AIDS community now. That's great. Let's
Well-
make
part of a
this
community.
worse. Should we
Let's
talk
get on the
about-
topic again. Why am I a Chad? I don't want to be a Chad. I want to be my own self. Alright, Miller.
That's not how it works for incels.
Yeah, once you've had
for
sex
me,
once, you're instantly a Chad and or Tyrone.
Stupid.
Well, incels are stupid, kind of. So you know,
No, they're
Who made
incels.
incels? Who made
kind of
incels? I'm gonna freaking
incels created the incel community.
Give me incel. I'm gonna
Oh, actually, to the specific neckbeards created the insult.
Actually, I think the creator
I'm
of
gonna
the
go-
I think the creator of the incel community was Chris Chan.
Christian? What? How?
No, not
Hey.
Christians. Chris Chan.
Chris Chan.
That's Christian.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Or
What is
that
that?
other. There was some other dude that was like a really big person in the incel
Chris
community. I
Chan?
can't remember what his name is.
Oh, Chris Chan.
Yes,
Look up
Chris.
Chris Chan. He did a very good cover of the Backstreet Boys song.
If you said neckbeards, I was gonna. You'd hear me on the news saying killer of neckbeards.
Oh my god, don't do that.
Oh, God.
Well,
No,
actually, if you did that on the news, you'd probably
I
get away with it
understand.
because you're white and you live in Ohio, so they wouldn't really raise too many questions.
To properly understand incels, look up Elliot Rogers.
That's who I was thinking of. Elliot Rogers. That was the name I couldn't
R.I.P.
remember.
Rip him because you might not see him.
Rip to your chin. Oh, I told my mom earlier on a completely unrelated topic. I just remember this for some reason. I told my mom this morning that apparently if you have a do-rag and a pair of Timbs, you're basically a New Yorker. And my mom's like, well, I guess we're from New York.
Question mark?
My mom's just like, I guess we're New Yorkers then, because we definitely have Timbs and do-rags all throughout the
I
house.
don't understand. Okay, so I don't really understand the Tim's thing because I think they're kind of gross looking. To be honest.
I don't know, man. I
You don't
mean,
get it. You stuck in a cave
Yeah,
like Diglett.
I think it's just from
You know, stuck in a
distance
cave
with
like
Ohio.
Diglett.
I mean, personally, I don't care.
Well,
if
I have a lot of people around here that live. That, well, I live around with a lot of people who are drug addicts and meth heads. Like, not like in my family, but like on the street when I was a child.
Oh, you're from my kind of white people area.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
your kind of
a lot
white
the
people
West-
area
a lot of
were
the
Winter's
Lesters and
Bone.
everything.
Yeah, that's meth, Carlos.
Oh wait, that was meth. Oh crap. Oh jeez, Rick. Jeez, oh flip.
No, remember, like my house, my dad's house.
And a lot of people who just always want the name brand shit, name brand like shoes.
Yeah.
And that's how my brother got it. He would not buy anything unless it's name brand.
That's kind of bad. Because you can
Yeah,
get some
that's
pretty
what I said.
solid knockoffs.
Hey, but now listen here. I love me some frosted fakes and some fruit rounds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can get some pretty good stuff that's not name brand.
Me, I don't care what I get, to be honest.
And it's
as long
cheaper.
As I get clothes on me, if I get great value stuff, I don't care.
Like, I think the
Yeah.
Apple
As long as
earbuds
it
I
doesn't
have
fall
aren't even
apart
Apple.
immediately.
They just look like
Exactly.
Apple earbuds.
Dude, I bought these freaking
And they work. I've had these for like 7 years.
$15 and one shoes from Walmart, and they are like fucking amazing.
Bargain shopping is always fun.
By the way, just want to say, shout out to making mac and cheese at like 11:30.
Mac.
Lindsay, are you coming
Why
down
mac
for
in
some
here?
mac and cheese? Oh, Mac went to. He had a driving lesson, and I think he went to sleep. I don't know. Oh no, it was his dad's birthday. That's what happened. He's at his dad's birthday thing.
What if he Stevens and just like comes in and then just immediately says, "Yeah, I'm going to bed, guys."
Boy. Steven does do that a lot. He'll
like,
he'll
"Thanks,
get
Steven,
online,
dude,
join, and
just
say,
text
"All right,
us."
I'm going to bed," and it's like, why did you tell
No,
us?
actually, this is the exact way it happens. He'll go online, he'll get online, say, "Alright guys, I'm gonna go take a shower." He'll go take a shower, be gone for like
And
2
go
hours,
take a
then come
shit.
back and say, "I'm gonna go to bed." This is like,
I
I
just
mean,
got
he
a dump
will,
truck.
he will do something on his elliptical.
Oh no, that's Mac. That was what Mac. Oh, all right.
That's what I
Well, we're changing the topic again for the conversation. So the other day, Mac got curious and was wondering if it was possible for him to beat his
first thing was the
meat
jogging thing.
while jogging.
to wait, to do what while jogging? I
Beat
missed
his meat while jogging.
it.
So he
fucking
said,
elliptical.
and I said, Mac, I'm pretty sure if you do that in public, you're probably gonna have some kind of violation
Something.
put
They'll
on
be
you
like
like
police
that.
coming after him and stuff like
And
that.
then he said, alright, I'm gonna try and do it on a treadmill. And then he went upstairs and took a picture of his
Christy,
elliptical.
Is this the point where we leave?
No.
Is this the point where we leave the conversation? Should we?
No, all I'm gonna say is
He didn't actually do it though. He was just trying to figure out if he could.
Oh, you broke the
All
system.
I'm gonna say is a vibrator.
Y'all are ruining this for me. I'm trying to get Christy in a one-on-one because Jam trying to steal your girl. How dare you?
Yeah, well, the way you get to her heart is by talking about this weird crap. Trust me, I know.
I just, you know,
Anybody would.
I think it's great
am I
that
wrong?
I think it's great that I totally have this loving, caring person, like, always by my side. And I mean the dog, apparently.
Hey, Sword, have you played any of the
Actually, you
Telltales?
don't because that's my dog. So don't be like that.
Where's my phone? I need to find Mr. Lonely. It's somewhere on the Spotify playlist.
ring. Throw the ring into the
Kill
lava.
Frodo. Kill Frodo. Take the ring.
Kill Frodo.
Frodo.
Kill Pimpin.
Frodo.
Hey yo, Frodo, deadass, take the ring, my guy.
Okay, that's something else we could talk about.
South Farm.
I haven't read the Lord of the Rings books in a very long time, so I can't remember. But was Frodo portrayed as much of a bitch as he was in the movies?
No, kill Frodo. Take ring.
Kill Frodo.
I don't know.
Because,
I didn't read
seriously.
the book, but, you know.
Because seriously,
Frodo.
Sam literally at one point and figuratively carried Frodo through the entirety of those movies.
Yeah.
Sam did basically everything.
Kill Froebel.
And then he betrayed him, and then he came back, and then they were friends again, and they're like, yo, what up, man?
Let's talk about mythology.
I don't know, I'm depressed. My fish.
Well, no, I
fish
just thought
died.
about it because somebody said boy earlier, and now all I can think
No,
about is Kratos and Atreus.
Speaking of mythology, my fish died the other day. I'm very depressed.
I'm trying to figure out how that ties into mythology, and all I can
Would you
think
say
of
that
is
you're big
Nishkagoi.
Get
His
get
name was
another.
Carlos. His name was Mattia.
No, Nishkagoi, the koi fish that turned into a dragon. That's the only thing I could think of that has to do with the fish.
Oh, this
Mattia.
just sounds real. Holy shit.
Mattia was named after Hindu mythology.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was the incarnation of Vishnu right before the Buddha. That was the fish spirit. Boom.
Kind of glad
You
I
guys
bought
talking
this.
about fish new?
Yeah.
Oh my god, fish new.
I was talking about my Vishnu. Mattia died, and I was very depressed because it was one of my beta fish. I had him for almost 2
He was a
years
beta.
now.
He deserved to die anyway.
Whoa!
He should have been more alpha.
You
Oh my
fucking Chad! You fucking Chad!
What about the original release?
We could talk about that.
You know what
We could
about the
talk
original release? Oh my god. I had a founder's pack, thank you very much.
You know what? I'm never gonna talk about anything ever again. Gigi went to the vet.
Oh, when does he
Gigi's-
have to go in to get his tooth fixed?
He's dying. Fuck you. Like
What?
No, he's fine. Jesus.
Jeez, don't do that. You scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, but
I thought
nobody
they
cares
called
about
and said
my
something
fish.
else. I cared
Nobody cares
about the
my
fish.
Get a new fish.
You're the
I wish
best.
I had a fish. I wish I had a fish, to be honest.
I still have 4 fish, but I wanted to have.
I have 3 fish, 1 fish,
You
2
don't have
fish.
to
I just found 12 fish. 12?
12 fish.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, but actually,
What happened?
no. Okay. Okay. So, like, no, it's fine. You're not the problem.
It's all these damn
It's
Oh,
all
chads
so
in
you're
the
calling
party.
us problems now, huh? Crazy.
It's all the
Oh,
other
white
Chads
girl
and
logic.
Tyrones all up in
Why do
this
I
call.
be a Chad? Why?
Once it happens once,
No.
you're already infected. There's nothing you can do.
Damn it.
No,
She is as much of a Chad as I am. And I will leave it at that.
no, we're women.
I think Steven's
We're
bed
women.
knows more.
Wait, Jose.
Mhm.
We were looking at the female version of a chat.
Mhm.
Debbie or something?
A Debbie? What?
It doesn't matter, Christy. To all neckbeards, we're just whores.
Oh, we are.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just a couple of whores.
Your daddy issues.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Weird.
we're just a couple of whores.
No, did you
because
say
we've
queer?
No, I said weird,
We've
not
ever
Oh,
been
okay.
interested in any other like person that's not a fucking like incel neckbeard. So,
Tyrone.
yeah, so we're just we're just whores now. So
I wonder what weather happened.
Christy, we learned that term today too, because apparently neckbeards, incels are racist.
Yep.
So they don't actually call black guys Chads, they call them Tyrones. So that's me now, I guess.
What about a Jerome? Jerome.
Hola,
Pepe.
Tyrone.
Wait, hold on.
I'm sorry, did you just say sexy Ken? Did I miss that? Did I I'm just like, I was not listening, I'm just like,
Who
did I
said
hear
that?
something like that?
Nobody said that, but I'm gonna call y'all that from now on.
I said Pepe.
Oh,
I believe-
hey,
I
Sexican.
I just looked at my computer.
If you call me
looked at
that
my
in
computer.
person or in public, we're gonna have
Oh, so you
fighting
gotta name
words.
the stream that now.
I'm not
Hola,
changing
mi
the stream.
sexy coon.
Wow, you said coon. Okay, nope.
Well, that's
my
no.
God.
right.
K-U-N.
Wipe,
It's
wipe.
Japanese.
Nope, Milo, wipe. Jump off the edge. Wipe.
Oh,
Why are we wiping?
We're doing. This was an ammo run. Just wipe.
Wipe.
Oh no, Jay wiped.
I'm done. I can
You know what's
never
funny?
say anything ever.
You know what's funny? I looked at my computer and I looked at my Steam name and it's called Jamal the Great.
What? What?
My Steam
Jamal?
name is
So I
called
guess you were a
Jamal the
Tyrone the
Great.
whole time.
It's just like apparently I was the big gay the whole time. Miller wasn't a Chad. He was never a Chad. He was a Tyrone from the
We
beginning.
never knew. We never knew.
Well, I
That's a
guess.
big twist at the end of the game.
Actually
See,
make that.
the
What's
joke's
that?
really on the incel community because, like, if basically all of these girls that are quote unquote whores, if they want to experience a black man, all they gotta do is call Tyrone.
I will.
Alright, now listen here. Right? Since we're all gamers to some capacity,
Yee.
usually the fullest extent of the gamer scale.
Usually Tuesday through
It's
Saturday.
E3
Yeah.
week, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bethesda starts tomorrow
Anything
at 9.
anybody looking forward to? Any left field announcements that people are hoping for? What conference are you looking for the most?
Hopefully.
I'm hoping. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for new, like, it probably won't happen this E3, but I'm hoping to see news about Darksiders 3 and,
Yeah, that would be great.
maybe potential God of War DLC. Because it's unconfirmed whether or not we're getting DLC for God of War, or if they're just
If we're
gonna
getting
wait
any
for a
DLC,
second
Sony
game.
would definitely put that as
Yeah.
a surprise trailer or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because that's what they did with the Frozen Wilds initially. Like, no one expected there to be, like, a full-on DLC
You know
for Horizon.
I
all
heard
the-
a lot about the Fallout 76 and when it
Yeah,
first got released,
I want to
like-
know more about Fallout
like-
76 too.
Like, when it first got revealed on the stream, people were saying it's gonna be a Fallout BR. I'm like, no, not
it's
even close.
it's just multiplayer.
Yeah, it's gonna be
like
like,
Rust.
whatever.
yeah, it's gonna be like
Like, I don't know if you ever heard of the
multiplayer
game
Fallout.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, that's what a lot of reputable leakers like.
Which would be kind of
The guy
fun.
was
It'd be nice to
What is
play.
it with people like saying a new game that comes out is going to be a BR? Like, are they all obsessed with it?
It's the new trend.
They
Yeah.
need to
But-
stop.
It's the new
Basically,
current trend right
lore-wise,
now.
It fits that it would be a Rust style game because Vault 76 is one of the few vaults in Fallout lore that doesn't have some kind of cool experiment tied to it. It was
Fill me
literally
in on
meant
the
to be.
like. Fill me in on 76, like Vault 76. I never really
Alright.
heard anything.
It's in
on
Vault
West
76
Virginia.
was the first vault in the Fallout universe to be open. It was scheduled to be open 20 years after the bombs dropped for them to start restoring order to the land.
They didn't
Obviously,
do
that
that.
didn't work out.
But how is it the
But-
first vault if it was Vault 76?
Oh my
That
God,
makes
Carlos.
sense.
It
Well-
was the first vault that let people into it.
Oh, okay. No, I was just asking because I mean I didn't know because I thought the vault had numerical.
judgmental!
I just thought the vault had like specific numerical values for a reason. Like I didn't know if it was a.
No.
No, they were of no consequence. It was just build order, not fill
Mm.
order.
I'm still wanting a new Elder Scrolls reveal. Like, I want to
We were
see if
supposed to
there's
get
any
Valorant
news on
everybody
in,
it.
but I don't
looking
think
forward
that's
to that,
coming
but
anytime soon.
Fallout's
But-
definitely taking over that.
Yeah.
It's crazy, to be honest. I love Elder Scrolls, and I
mean,
want them
hold
to come
on.
out with a new one.
We will have had 2 new Fallout games. before we get one new
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls. I'm not counting Elder Scrolls.
Well, who knows? They might
Nobody counts
they might
that.
remaster Skyrim again for the PS5 in 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we don't get Skyrim mobile.
Oh no, we probably will get Skyrim
Wait,
mobile
wait, no,
before we get the
we already have
Oh, no,
PS5.
that.
I am
Switch.
not joking. We probably will.
I
We already
believe-
have that, the Switch.
No, we mean mobile phone mobile.
Oh, mobile.
Yeah.
Well, we might
The
need
Switch is
like a
definitely made for
tablet-sized
people
phone.
in Japan. It was not made for Western
Well, the thing
people
is,
with bigger
like, the
hands.
Switch has a Taiga core, so basically it's
Tegra.
like for tablets.
But the Tegra's kind of old, and phones are way more powerful than
Yeah.
that now. So
Well, the newest
we're
one, like
definitely
7,
getting a
8
mobile
gen.
version.
I think I'm missing a lot in this conversation.
We're only on second gen Tegra right now.
As
the Tegra-
I
I'm
I
kind
don't
of
think
out
I
right now
understood
at the
what you
moment
guys
too.
were saying. It's like the Switch has a Tiger at core, so it was only for the Capulets. What
LOL.
about the Montagues? Fuck y'all! Like, did I fucking miss something?
No, basically
Oh
what
my
we were
God.
saying is that the Switch uses a mobile processor instead of like
Okay,
something
my
more
bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm everybody's ancient ass mom. my bad.
It's basically.
I was
it's
lost
basically
too, don't worry about it.
Like of a computer, basically.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with the Montagues and the Capulets, because I'm
No.
upset. Oh,
No. That'd be cool, yeah.
The
Yeah.
bars.
Mhm.
I know.
Cappies! My favorite animal is
Chappie the
capybaras, to
rabbit.
anyone who doesn't know.
The Montagues
that?
and the Capybaras.
A capybara is probably one of the cutest marsupials ever.
It's like a giant.
they also eat everything.
Is it a bear?
Like me!
No, it's just a giant fucking rodent.
Hey!
Oh, so a
It's
rat.
true.
Hey!
Yeah, much like Carlos, it's a giant fucking rodent.
Damn,
I am not a
Calling
rat.
a
I've never
Mexican a
ratted
rat?
on anyone.
That's crazy.
I want a gecko. I want to get a gecko and call it Gecko.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Carlos, our hamster looks like a capybara. You're fine.
But I want
Gerbil.
real capybaras.
Why are you so whiny?
But I
My
want
bad.
I want money.
Because I was trying to be Zuko in Avatar Abridged.
I think it's my influence. I keep making Carlos
It's my
whiter.
money and I want it now.
It's my money.
I need it now.
I think I'm making Carlos too white by hanging out with him. My bad.
I
You're
don't
spoiled.
understand how that's possible.
My
Don't
whiteness.
worry, he listens to rap still.
When?
Do though.
When?
Tyler.
Yeah, but Tyler, like you can't really say Tyler.
You
is
can't
black
really
in the
say
same-
Tyler.
That's true. We've seen one of those sightings on Morgan Squad, and like one black guy walks in, and they're just like, "Hey!"
Hey, Carlos.
God.
You know the only rap I listen to regularly is Childish Gambino.
I don't even listen to rap anymore. The only ever
That's
rap I
fine,
actually
Chad.
listen to is when my brother
right.
has it on when we go to work. That's
I just think the best part. I think the best part about Donald Glover hosting SNL is during his opening monologue. He was telling everybody who he was, and he's like, "If you're black, if you're black, I wrote for Atlanta and Redbone, and I did Redbone, and I'm just like, oh my god." It's kind of messed up how, like, black people would really only know who he was from Atlanta and Redbone.
I mean, I've known him since Community.
Yeah.
I've known him since he was doing stand-up, too.
And actually, now that I think about it, I knew him from Derek Comedy before that, because I was
Yeah.
looking at some of the
It's
skits,
Derek Comedy.
and I was
yeah.
like, I recognize some of these.
Yep.
I've seen- Like, oh crap, I can't even say it. I can't say it because we're on here. But the spelling bee one is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, my first introduction was him was the crazy boyfriend.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah. Like, guys talk about their crazy ex-girlfriends all the time. The girls, they don't. Wanna know why? Because if those women have crazy boyfriends, they die.
They die. Yeah, like that's the thing, and it's the best. Like he really opened something up there. It was like, yeah, guys have all these crazy ex-girlfriend stories. Why don't girls have crazy ex-boyfriend stories? Oh, because if they have a crazy ex-boyfriend, they're dead.
Or there's Scarlet from Space Dandy.
Damn it.
Scarlet's ex-boyfriend with the mech suit that was chasing after her in Dandy. Oh my god.
I completely forgot about that. It's been so long.
No, I got in a little bit of
Damn,
why
bro,
so
Derek
much?
just got killed.
I got in a little bit of trouble
Oh, you're
because I
playing
told
Xbox.
What's wrong?
the
Christy? What's up?
the
That's
girls
Lindsay.
that
I need to watch TV more.
the girls that I tutor, I told them that I listen, like, because we were talking about music genres. So I tutored them in Chinese, and I was talking to them about music genres, and I was like, so, 你们喜欢不喜欢
Stop showing off. Stop showing off.
Hey
Just
yo,
say it.
stop speaking that goddamn chink around me.
Oh my god.
And my channel is getting banned.
So what I tried to say was, do you like rap? Because
Now, was that so hard? Was that so hard without showing off, huh? Huh? Huh?
Do you listen to the
I
hippity
was
hop?
trying to explain.
Yeah, that's
I was
why
trying-
I was like, stop showing off.
I was trying
Just
to
say what you
explain
said.
that the word for rap in Chinese is shuochang, which is speak singing. That's the word for rap.
That
And I
is-
was asking
that is
them about-
what it is.
Exactly. I was asking them about like what kind of music genres they liked. And like they said, "Oh, I like rap." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I like them. Like my favorite artist is Childish Gambino."
How
And
does
the
that
older
does not even translate? Or do
Well,
you just say
keep on Childish Gambino. I like
Okay,
Childish Gambino.
that's what I was gonna ask. Like,
Yeah.
does that translate, or do you just have to say?
Do they know who he was?
Oh yeah, the like the girls that I the girls that I tutor in so I teach English to kids in China, but I also tutor Mandarin for 3 girls from Nigeria.
Oh, dude, I want to play Gravity Rush 2
Like
so
their
bad.
parents are from Nigeria, but they're very American, and so like the oldest girl that's like 15, she was like, "Oh, you like Childish Gambino?" And I was like, "Yeah, I love him." And so she got super excited, and she was like, "Oh, like what? Do you know how to like rap any of his songs?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh no! I just
And she
remembered.
was like-
Can't you like rap all of Bonfire except for certain words?
3005,
Yes,
I think.
I can
too.
do that for a lot of songs, except I always skip the N word. And so I was like, I can rap a couple of the songs, but I don't think I can. And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, they're curse words.
You said a swear.
Bad words.
You don't know, now you know.
Nibba.
Like, but it's like
Or
I
if
can
you're
do
a white
lot
kid
of,
on the
like-
internet, Nika with 2 Q's.
Hey.
It's like I can
See-
do like a lot of
You know what just
2005.
No, see, I had to
Like,
find.
I can do-
I had to have a conversation with Chris earlier today because that man for the longest time thought Childish Gambino was female because of Redbone. I'm like, son,
Wow.
what?
Are you kidding me?
Have you not
Are you
listened to any of the
serious?
other songs, Chris? And you're just like, Nah, Redbone was the first one I heard. I'm like, listen, what?
So you haven't decided, hey, I like this. Let me try listening to some more.
It's like, because I
You gotta
can do
also
a lot
remember, Chris listens to X a lot. He listens to a lot of not DMX, XXX Tentacles.
Sorry.
Alright, what kind of X are we? Are we talking about Sad X or are we talking about Young Bratz X?
I'm not entirely sure anymore because I haven't. Because Chris hasn't been joining parties a lot lately, so I haven't gotten a chance to talk to him a whole lot.
So it's like
Loud and angry or soft and somber?
Probably loud and angry.
Loud and angry.
Actually, I think a bit of both, knowing Chris.
Yeah.
Knowing Chris.
The only thing I could show the girls was like what I know from 3005.
Oh wow.
Did you say the best part?
Well, no.
Did you drop the,
It's like
drop the bomb? Did you drop it?
no, I did not drop the bomb.
Did
It's
you
just
drop
like
the bomb on the Chinese?
Oh.
It's just like in 3005 there's a very long span where there aren't any curse words.
Ah, okay.
Where it's hold up all good, wait a minute, just a week or so, crew at my house and we party every weekend. So on the radio, that's my favorite song, make me bounce around like I don't know, like I won't be here long, now the thrill is gone. Got no patience, cause I'm not a doctor. Girl, why is you lying? Girl, why you
Mufasa?
Casa.
Gotta
Yeah,
strip
we
it
strip
like
it like
Gaza.
Gaza. Got so high off volcanoes, now the flow is so lava. Yeah, we spent that saliva. iPhone got message from Viber. Either the head is so hydra, or we let back out the balance. My God, you pay for your friends. I'll take that as a compliment. Got a house full of homies. Why feel so the opposite, incompetent at the half of it. Savages with flung lavishes. Savage shit is embarrassed. Things stay fit in the cabinet. I can't do it.
How do you get high off a volcano?
Don't worry about it.
I don't.
I think my favorite line. I think my favorite line in any Childish Gambino song has to be, by far, I made the beat retarded, now I'm calling it a slow jam.
Oh God!
You said another word that just got us demonetized.
Well, it's too late because, you know, somebody already dropped the freaking,
Has anyone played the Tales of games?
I've been somewhat intrigued.
Oh my
but
god, I
I've
could have
never
played Beyond Two
Look up
Souls.
Look up this Berseria. It's actually pretty cool.
Oh, Berseria?
Yeah.
It's like I've kind of been one of those series where I'm like, it looks interesting, but because I don't know enough about it, I'm not about to spend 60 minutes on it. So the next time there's a sale, I'm gonna.
I haven't seen a sale for it yet. I don't even think it's been on sale yet.
Indeed, but
yeah, but I've heard so many good things about it. There are some cons, but God, everyone's saying that this is the best of any
in terms of combat. How would you describe it?
I've yet to play it.
Oh,
I'm playing it now though.
Oh,
I've yet to get combat yet for this. But I played Tales of Zestiria and the combat was okay, but it was still lacking a little bit.
Like like how would you describe it in terms of like RPG?
JRPG, like it's like
that's still very diverse.
Okay, so
like turn-based,
like it's action, like it's you move around an area and you use your random arts and attacks and stuff like that.
I prefer that to turn-based combat, so that's
yeah. I don't like turn-based combat, to be honest. It's not a favorite, but I will play turn-based.
It's like it's okay in certain situations. I'm not.
And a lot of people, are saying that this story has a more deeper, like kind of depressing, not like it's more of a deeper emotion in this one than the other Tales of games. That's what I heard.
Well, I'll check it out if there's a sale. I'll see. Hopefully it goes on sale.
I miss turn-based in Ni no Kuni because in the second Ni no Kuni they stopped making it turn-based, and I was like,
I was
I was a
thinking
little
about to get
upset.
the new one of that. How's that one? The new one?
The new one's it's good, but
But
it's just not what I was expecting because I was expecting the old like turn-based RPG style of it.
oh,
I just can't help think about how like
Oh,
voter.
there was a good review on it. I need to find it for Berseria so I can read it to you.
well, it's all right. I'll look stuff up.
I just can't help but think about how Lindsay and I were kind of borderline psychologically broken after the small bit of that you played with What Remains of Edith Finch, because geez, all of a sudden she's turning into animals and we're just like, wait, what? We have to stop
I wanted-
playing the game and process this.
Well, no, I wanted to stop playing it so that I could like so that you could play it at some point.
I think a shark rolling down a hill is probably the best part about it.
Yeah, but
So
I wanted...
what's the summary on that game? Like, what would you like?
That game is amazing. I
Like-
fucking love it.
Give me an overview of what it's about.
It's hilarious. And it's about hilarious bullshit.
It's probably not hilarious, but what the part
Okay.
that we saw was hysterical.
Okay, I can explain it a lot better than that. Okay, it's What's Left of Edith Finch is about someone is going there reading about their family.
Mm.
And their family was very strange.
Oh, okay.
So it's going there to learn and go through, like, it's very much like based on going through rooms and finding things, learning about this family.
Like a history.
Yeah, the history of their
Okay.
family, and it was a very, very strange family.
Mm.
And so you go through a lot of things that are very odd, and they aren't all based in reality, but you're supposed to be like reading like diary entries and things of the family. So
So like Adam's family?
not exactly Adam's family, but some similarities, I would say.
Okay. Huh. I've always wanted to make a game that was like it's first person and it's an interaction game, like you interact with stuff. I love
Yeah.
those type of games, but I want to like none of them so far that have been out really interest me much
Yeah.
of actually buying it and stuff.
Mhm.
I was very interested in the genre.
Yeah.
You're interested in the genre.
Whoa. Saucy.
Yeah, I am. God dang it.
I think
Rubber
you're
nugget.
muted, Joe.
So, what do you call Mac? Mac isn't here. But so one of the things that I want right now would be a game that's like open world, has a very big world, that you can like make a lobby, come in with a bunch of friends, and you just have control over that space. And what I mean by
Minecraft!
that- No, what I mean by that is basically they give you like a bunch of different superpowers and stuff that you can mess around with.
Minecraft
And you
Hunger
can
Games!
just- You can just destroy that world if you want to.
Oh, so like
Just
Kind of
wait.
like
it's a
DC
sandbox,
Universe Online a little bit.
sandbox.
That would be pretty interesting. And I mean like for instance, you make a lobby and you join up with like, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe 6 of your friends, and then you have the freedom to just kind of mess around. And also, I can't remember who I was talking to this about. I think it was Carlos. But I was talking about if they made like a Ruby MMO and how that would work. If anybody ever did. It'd be pretty complicated.
It would be complicated, to
But
be
I feel
honest.
like it would work. You know, craft your own weapon,
Yeah.
get your own semblance of everything, and then
You'd have to put your own creative. Would
the thing is,
you'd have to do
like-
create a character has to be involved in the actual story and stuff.
yeah, it would be interesting. And
Would it
you
be a
could, like,
side
get-
story or would it be like based off the
I
main
feel like
series?
it would be a side thing. If anything, it most likely would not be canon. But but like, there would be probably a blueprint system so you could like build new weapons and whatnot. And
I would just
certain-
buy it to hear, what's her name? The robot. What's her name?
Kenny. Oh,
Penny. I would buy it to hear her.
rip Kenny.
I'm combat
In
ready.
half.
Just like see her in the sky. Just I'm combat ready.
You know, rip in pieces, Penny.
Rip in pieces. But like basically you could find blueprints and stuff. And
Spoiler warning.
nobody else
Rest in
is.
pepperonis.
Everybody here who knows about that has watched it and is planning to watch more of it.
Rest in peppers.
Pepper Tonys.
Shout out to that part of the Ruby community that thinks that progression is ass.
Like really? They like really? People
the one
needed to
guy-
die. Like the story was getting to a Power Rangers point. After season 2.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
is there gonna be no consequences for any of their actions? Like, is nobody actually gonna bite the dust in this whole thing?
Hey, we out here eating some wok hay fried rice, you know what I'm saying?
Is wok fried rice Joaquin
Carlos, I don't
Haitian
remember
rice?
if I sent you that picture of the we found some pumpkin Pete cereal, by the way.
Oh no, I found the cereal in the thing.
Oh no, you gotta show it. Damn it.
Holy fuck, this starts off cool.
And how are you sending me messages?
No, it's not right now. It's charging right now. It's too far away. It's on the other side of our room.
To walk.
I know.
Is she walking? I can't tell. Is she Christopher Walken? Don't laugh, it wasn't funny, you're just gonna encourage my bad behavior.
Yeah.
Shout out to that one EDM artist whose name was Stephen Walking.
Boy. Somebody stole my weed.
Someone
Hey, I don't care. I'm pretty sure he sent you a list of the stuff you can't say.
I know you did. I know you did.
Question, Sword, how is Gravity Rush?
Well, Gravity
Okay.
Falls is amazing.
Okay, so you've just opened up a can of worms, my friend. So
Gravity Falls is the best.
So what I will say is, can I talk? You ask me a question. Everybody else is freaking listening.
Fine.
And this is where everybody turns off the podcast. 'cause
Start
this
with
shit got ass.
start
Boy.
with the beginner. Tell me how
I'm not giving you a full synopsis or anything. I'm just saying there's a lot that I love about this, like the whole movement and everything. The fact that you can control gravity, that's just awesome.
I thought that
It's
was
a
cool.
lot of fun. The only thing that like really gets me is there are a lot of parts of the games that kind of defeat the purpose. It's like the whole point of this game and the whole thing that attracts me to it is the movement.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are segments where they're just like, yeah, you can't use gravity here. And
Well,
it's like,
I heard about
seriously?
like
And then
you have to be stealthy, but there's no stealth system. Is that true?
there was only like one portion where you had to do that, and that's not really that. Like that didn't really bother me as much, but it was kind of dumb. But what really bothers me though are the characters. And don't get me wrong, a lot of characters are good. It's just everybody treats the protagonist like she's crap for some reason. Like everybody just steps on her constantly, and it's like it really bums me out at points. And I'm just like, come on, man. She needs a win. She doesn't deserve. Like, she'll save somebody. Like in the first scene, like she basically saves this guy's kid and their house.
Oh my god.
But because of where the house was placed, it manages to fall off. And so instead of thanking her for, you know, saving his kid and everything, both the kid and the guy just start cussing her out, basically, like,
What? How dare you say
it's like, seriously?
Whoa!
It's like, I just saved your life, and you're worried about that.
How
Like,
could you
gotta
save
pay
me?
us back for that? And it's like,
Alright, now listen
seriously?
here.
Seriously, bro. And it's that kind of crap constantly. And I'm just like, and she's too nice to speak up about it, even though you get to hear her internal monologues, and she's like, I really hate these people. But it's just like, oh my god. There'd be some times, especially in the second one, it's so prevalent in the second game. There was times throughout the game where I didn't just quit or rage quit because of the game. I rage quit because of what was happening in the story. I'm just like, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. This is some BS. Just come on, man.
I hate in animes where they dog on the main character, but they didn't do anything wrong.
But like, here's another thing. Here's another thing that like really happens a lot in this. There'll be moments where, basically, because time works weirdly here, you'll go someplace and you'll be gone for like a year, and you'll come back and no one will remember you, despite being that you were the frickin' flying person controlling gravity, saving people. Like, they'll just, we don't remember you.
Nah, who are you?
Yeah, like, it's only
there was a
year,
hero movie that was like that.
It's like, are you kidding me though? It's been 1 year, nobody remembers the flying gravity girl with that cat? Like, serious? Oh my god.
She's an outcast, probably, is what they think. It's like, don't worry about her. No one cares.
Hey everybody, I gotta be kinda awful now, but I am very tired. And so I think I have to go sleepy time.
Yep, I think I'm gonna call it a night too.
Sleepy time junction.
Gotta go sleepy time junction. So, see y'all.
Wait, we gotta do the
We gotta sign off.
So, I mean, like, we covered a lot of topics today, guys. So,
Yeah, we did.
I'm not gonna say it wasn't productive, but at the same time,
But at the same
feel
time,
like-
sleepy time junction.
I feel like the most productive conversations are the ones that go a lot of places and keep you intrigued. So, I feel like, at least from my perspective, you may have done a good job.
yeah, I hope someone finds some joy in these random ramblings.
Good job. Good job, you fucking chads.
Oh my god. Well, good night, everyone. Anyone have any last words before the stream is ended?